Hi, friends. Welcome to the site. I wanted to go ahead and do a little tutorial for some of you who downloaded, or maybe you haven't yet downloaded, the effective checklist. With back to school starting and just all of the demands on our time, I get asked a lot about how I plan and how I get so much done in what seems to some as a short amount of time. For me, it actually, it's constant. And I think a lot of you know that, but it really is easy to get overwhelmed when you have multiple appointments each week with therapies or doctor visits. And it's, I think, even easier to get overwhelmed when you have children who find it difficult to even leave the home to get to even do anything fun or what have you. So wherever you are on this struggle, I'd love for you to comment and let's start a conversation about how together we can sort of address the overwhelm that comes from either too much activity, but also comes from when you have so much to do and you don't even know where to start. Another side to this coin would be, as I mentioned before, there's a lot of children with special needs or disabilities, and as they become adults, it gets even harder. As a mom, in my 50s, my 16-year-old son, if he doesn't want to go somewhere, I really can't force him to go somewhere. And I know a lot of you are in that situation as well. So let's talk about some strategies with that and open up a dialogue separately for that, so we can address that and maybe problem solve together and encourage each other a little bit. But for this video, and this is just, this is not I'm not doing this a professional video. This is just a Zoom little webinar for me to go over those steps and just sort of give you a little bit more information that might not be clear on the download. So hopefully you've downloaded the effective checklist and you have found it useful. I tried to make it simple and not give too much detailed instruction so that you feel free to plan it the way you want to. But I find this method for me really works, especially when I've got multiple things going on. Maybe I've got somebody here, handyman or plumber or something here at the house. I've got commitments for work, travel, Andrew's therapy and appointments. I have 3 other children that I like to see and meet up with them. So, or usually they come here and we get to have some time. But, occasionally there's, I really do try to meet up with friends and, Andrew can't always be included in that. And I know respite care and getting respite care is one of the most difficult things and challenges that we face as parents and moms with special needs kids. So, again, let's talk about that and see what we can come up with together. But for now, I'd like to share the checklist with you and just sort of go over. I'm going to share my screen with you and sort of go over the details of how I work through my list. So I'm going to share this one. All right. Hopefully you can see that and you can see me as well. If not, then I think you can click on the gallery and adjust your settings. So obviously this is just my cover page and just sort of an introduction for parents who might not know me that are just downloading the PDF. I've put it out there in several places, just, even for people that don't have special needs kids, just to sort of go over the way I plan. Again, full disclosure, this is the way I plan and it works for me. And I find that when I share it, it seems pretty simple to people and it's what people would like to do. if this is not how your brain works, just, enjoy learning how somebody else's brain works. But, I certainly do not expect this to work for everyone. But it's a good system that I've used since college, probably, maybe a little before. And it's, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I just tried to make a, sort of a step-by-step program of, mainly for people who really feel the overwhelm and find it difficult to, get through their day or their week or their month without really, just having all these things in your head that you want to do or plan or talk about, and you just never really get to it. And that can lead to, just a lot of bad feelings of, I'm not good enough, or I'm not a good parent. And, we can't go there, but anyway, I'm hoping this is a tool for some of you to be able to address that and plan your day and your week and your month a little more seamlessly. So as I mentioned on the handout, for those of you that don't know me or are new here, my name is Angela, and I have a special needs son, Andrew. He has spina bifida. I also have 3 older children, and I have definitely struggled in the last 16 years of feeling, on the outside a little bit. I couldn't always, and I still can't always accept invitations, or, I make a plan with a friend, hey, yeah, let's meet, for coffee when Andrew's at school on such and such, and, have to cancel because I've got to go pick him up from school, or there's, something that comes up. And it's you, as you know, it is incredibly difficult to plan activities with friends, or just respite for yourself, or even time for yourself. So my hope is that, one, the system will help you get some of those day-to-day things accomplished, leaving some time for self-care and for some time for yourself, because that is what's really important. And it took me a long time to figure that out. I've been a parent for 27 years. I have 4 children, and I always put them first. I laugh, I one of my big routines, if you'll call it, when the kids were younger, I was somewhere and somebody asked me about, oh, well, what's your skincare routine? I'm like, really? It's after I diaper the baby, it's grab another wipe off my face. And after I lotion the baby, put the little J&J on my face. So, my routine was non-existent. I mean, sure, if I wore makeup, I took it off, with a wipe. So, I think we just, we fit those things in where we can. And, I'm not saying, that was probably at my lowest when this was my skincare routine, but, I just want to encourage you that even if you find an extra 5 or 10 minutes for yourself to just, whatever that looks like for you, take a walk, do a mask, take a bath, have 10 or 15 minutes to yourself to read, or, do something motivational, read through a motivational quote book, or a nonfiction book that you enjoy, or garden, or whatever that looks like for you, just to find that time and find that time to do it, not just, oh, I've got 10 minutes, I'm going to sit here on the couch, or, oh, I've got 15 minutes, I'm going to sit here on the couch. And some days that's fine. But what I really want you to do is to try to find 10 or 15 minutes or an hour or whatever it is a day or a week to do something that makes you happy. And, it really will change your outlook and your mindset, or help you change those things. So that's pretty much why I designed this planner. So let's go on, and we're going to look at each step by step of the plan. So just a quick overview of how it works. And this is how it works for me. I do a brain dump, And that some people call that brainstorming, or whatever you call it. I just get out, usually I get out a notebook or just like a piece of copy paper, typing paper. What typing? Does anyone type? You know what I'm saying? Printer paper. I get that out and I just start listing everything. I don't worry about, oh, this is about Andrew or this is about medical. I just, everything that's in my head. Then typically what I'll do is I'll grab my planner and I'll look for anything that sticks out, that I know that I had, or in your calendar on your phone, wherever, that, oh yeah, I know I put an appointment in there, and just sort of go through the month or 2 months and just add anything in there that, wasn't in your head. Like sometimes we schedule appointments 2 or 3 months out or longer. So just anything that you've got in there, a birthday month for, birthday for family or friends, just jot all that down. So the next thing would be to divide and conquer. And then you go on from there and you plan your month and then your week and then your day. And then at the end, we'll talk about giving yourself a little grace from that. So we just talked about brain dump, but, I just put this little graphic up here, just wherever, it does not have to be a fancy place. This is just where you everything that you're thinking of. For me, it's like, I just start listing, okay, even things for the home, or things that I want to do that, may not be this year or next year. I want to put up a retaining wall outside, and I can, I do not have the money to do that right now and probably won't for a couple of years, but I wrote that down. Like that's a goal I have for my home, that, we need a little retaining wall on the hill that's sort of encroaching on the yard. So that's one thing that I put on there. I'm planning a birthday party for my mom in November, and, I'm not ready to plan, but hey, let's write that down. She's going to be 80, and I'm excited to do a little party for her with her and her friends and our family. So that's on there. Car maintenance, school events, medical events, appointments, anything that is out there that is on your to-do list. I wouldn't go so far as to list here every household chore individually, just, like maybe put chores. This, you don't need to do unload dishwasher, make bed, that here. This would be, just make sure, you've got some home maintenance, or you've got your everyday sort of time, your work schedule, put all of that on here. So that's where that would go. Here is where you start dividing it out. So, and this obviously is just too small of space, but I wanted to just sort of give you titles for areas that now your brain dump is going to fit into. So the way I do that is, I've got my big list, and I'll just start circling, or highlighting, okay, this is about house. I'm going to highlight it in green. Everything house is highlighted in green. Everything medical, I put a red circle around or whatever, just to sort of start to categorize on the page. And then as I put it in this checklist, that's where I'll cross it off my main list. Okay, I'm taking it from the big giant list, and I'm starting to categorize and move things into specific slots. So you may have 2 or 3 of these, you may have 10 or 12. You could put your vehicle on here. You could put garden, whatever you've got, household dreams, whatever goals, whatever you want, you can make these categories anything you want. These are ones that work for me. And then, like I said, down in the future, that's where I might put the retaining wall or the party or something like that. That's where that would go. So work, point being, categorize whatever you need to categorize. So as you see 3 or 4 or 5 or 20 things that fit into that, that title or that category, like for the home or whatever, you start putting them in those sections. So that's dividing and conquering. All right. So from there, I'm going to start planning my month. So I do this in my planner. Obviously, this is not enough room for you to do it, though you're welcome to print it out and use it. Um, for the month, this is going to be the highlights. So I'm not going to put, work 4 to 5, whatever. I'm only going to put birthdays, major appointments, things that are date driven. So, things where, there's a specific day, date, time that this thing happens and you're going to do it on this day or this time. So, sure, work, you can put that on there. If you go to work every day and it's the same time, I wouldn't waste time doing that. But, if you have a different schedule every week or whatever, put that on there. Definitely you're going to put, appointments. Most people like to use colored markers or colored Post-its or whatever, little tabs to differentiate. Like if you're managing a family with multiple members, certainly, figure out a way. Usually it's color, but you can do whatever you want to put each person's, things on that calendar. I find for a lot of us at this point, it's, you're just doing yourself and your household and maybe your child or your children or whatever. So in that case, or in the case of a big family, I would keep this to main appointments that have to happen, and then have a weekly family calendar where you put, specifically where people need to be at what time. So like, if soccer practice is on Tuesday and Thursday, list that you've got soccer, but the details can go in another spot. So that's just to recap. This is your date driven big picture of the things that have to happen on a specific day and time. So, that's how that works. All right. So now we're going down to planning the week. So this is what I was saying, like, this is where you're going to put, more of the details of, Jimmy goes to soccer on whatever day. Andrew goes to therapy on, Tuesday at 2. This is where you're going to start to map out. Yes, you're going to put all those same appointments and things on this list, but then this is where you're going to start to kind of add other things. Like if you have some other goals, like, you want to mow, cut the grass this weekend, or make some appointments, or, go to lunch with a friend or whatever. This is where you're going to kind of plot that out. So you pull the date driven items into specifics and what days and times you're doing it. And then this is where you're going to add some of the things that have been on your head that, okay, I know I need to do this. What day? Okay, I'm going to be home, from 9 to 3 on this day. So would be a good day to whatever that looks like for you. Maybe it's do an outing with your child. Maybe it's, hanging out in the backyard. I don't, whatever that looks like for you, your housework day, your laundry day, whatever it looks like that you need to start plugging in the details, slightly, a lot more details of what you want to accomplish that week. So for me, this might be anywhere from 4 things on a Monday to 15 things, depending on how long each of those things are going to take. So for me, I like to usually do a little laundry on Monday and get that going for the week. And so, I'll put that on Monday. If I've got an appointment or a speaking engagement or something else, then I'll move that to another day if I've got to get out of the house early. So that's where you start just finding that time. So you look back at your categories and you start plugging from the category list things that need to be done on the times and days that you don't have a lot of other things going on. Now, for me, if Andrew has, a big doctor day, or, we're consulting with a surgeon or something like that, I do try to plan for us to do lunch out, even if it's like drive through Chick-fil-A, or he likes to go have Mexican food, or sometimes like a Mighty Fine Burger if you're here in Austin. I'll try to plan that around so that he has something kind of to look forward to. It's like, oh, we're going to go to lunch after. And sometimes that helps him process with the transitions. That's a whole nother talk, but I'm sure we'll get to that at some point. So this would be where, okay, I've got this big thing of appointments. I'm going to try to schedule something either fun or restful, or you know what I'm saying? Like make it sort of an outing, turn it into an outing or something if your child will allow for that. And if not, then let's plan for after that to be, you know, a little downtime and a little rest time, because those appointments can be exhausting. I mean, they're physically exhausting for us and for our children. And they're also, you know, can be and often are very emotionally draining. So, you know, just give yourself some space around those days. Try not to overplan. Now, a lot of times you've got to go do it, and you've got to get right back to work. Great. So then after work, plan a little downtime for you so that you can think through it and process whatever happened during that day. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions about this, please just put them in I think there's a chat at the bottom, you know, or you can message me directly and we can talk about any of these things. And like I said, I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but if we hit on a topic that you're struggling with, you know, outings or therapy appointments, or, you know, giving your child medicine or anything like that. Again, I do not claim to be an expert, but I am a problem solver, and I want to help you solve those problems. I want to help you feel better about your day. So, you know, going forward from there. All right, so here we go. We're going to plan our day. So now I'm going to take, you know, Monday, and I'm going to put all the things for myself that I need to do. I know I've got to get up. I'm going to do, you know, throw the sheets in the wash. I'm going to start the coffee, have a cup of coffee. I'm going to do my, you know, meditation in the morning, or my little sort of plan my day sort of time. This is where I'll reach out if I need, you know, if I have an appointment later, I might, you know, text or email the person, hey, looking forward to seeing you, whatever it is, whatever your items are, you know, in your particular spot in the world, whatever works for you or what your needs are, this is where you're going to put that down. And then like for Andrew, for others or whatever, you know, if it's not really your thing, but you know, you've got to help facilitate, or you've got to do whatever, soccer practice for Jimmy, therapy for Andrew, whatever it is, you're going to, you know, put it in the others. And this probably won't be this many for you and this many for somebody else. But the point being is that kind of divide your day into, I kind of divide it into like work, things I need to do for work, things I need to do for the home, things I need to do for others, and then some kind of, and it of course doesn't happen every day, but some sort of moment for myself. For me, in the, you know, when it's nice weather outside, you know, I like to just get a glass of iced tea and go sit, you know, outside in the backyard, and, you know, I fill up the bird feeder and I just kind of watch the birds. And I mean, of course, I have a big garden, and it typically ends up in me getting up and working in the garden. But in theory, I would like to just go sit out there and enjoy sitting sometime. Usually I make it about 10 minutes. I'm not much of a sitter, but if you are, please go, you know, find something that you like to do around, in and around your home. And if you don't have something, let's make a spot, you know, let's make a spot that feels comfortable for you to just sit and relax. And, you know, I find for me, and this may not be for you, and I know a lot of people binge shows, and I love to binge shows occasionally too, but I try not to have my show time or my screen time or my movie time be my refuel me time. I find that ends up being kind of just, you know, time that just gets away from us when we're watching shows and things like that. Not judging you at all. I'm saying I do it too, but I don't find that fills me up in the same way as doing something, taking a few minutes for myself out of the day and doing something for me. And, you know, like I said, for me, it's doing something in my garden, maybe doing a facial mask or taking a bath or whatever. You know, and sometimes it is a work thing, you know, sometimes just going out and pulling weeds. I know that doesn't sound like it's for me, but that's time I use to kind of process things and think through things. And I mean, sadly, sort of talk to myself, but again, that's why you're here, so I can talk to you. Okay, so you plan your day, and then I left a little room for just notes and reflections. This might be, I also call this section add-on. So like as you're going through your day and, the doctor calls you back and is like, hey, you can come in on Tuesday next week. Okay, add that in there. Anything that kind of comes up or things that, oh, wow, now we, cleaned out the flower bed. Now I need to go get some plants. So add plants there. I mean, I'm giving crazy examples, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Finally, you're going to review your day. So at the end, you're going to look through your list, and hopefully so many of these things are going to be checked off and crossed off. And then you're basically going to bring forward anything that did not get done. That happens. Now, this is what I find when people complain about making a to-do list or a checklist or a honey-do list or planning calendar or anything like that. They get so overwhelmed of the things they did not get done. Let me tell you, that's part of it. That's why we overplan the things. That's why here we put every little thing, because it's not all going to get done. But let's say, 3 of 5 get done. I mean, the process of checking that off of your list, whether you physically do that or just know, okay, mentally that's off, is such a edifying, and it builds you up and makes you feel more capable. That's the point of the list. The list is not about, okay, I've got to get everything else done on my list or I failed. Please, if you take nothing else from this tutorial, you are not failing if you do not complete your list. No one completes their list ever, because you're also adding things to your list as the day goes on. And like I said, I try to put a few things on here that I probably am not going to get to, but I'll feel better adding it to another day if I get the 5 previous things done. So I may not get all my laundry folded today, but it's, the beds are stripped, they're washed, they're dried, they're probably not folded, but then they'll be put back on the bed. And if I do have an extra set, then, I'll fold it the best I can. But point being, you don't have to get every part of it done. The point is you see what you are doing and you see what's not happening, so then you can put it on a different day. I hope that makes sense. Please send me questions. If it doesn't, you can email me, angela@amfriendscommunity.com too, if you have any questions. So here you're going to do your new tasks, your incomplete tasks, and you're going to use these to build the next day or the next few days, or week as you plan those days. Again, reward yourself. It can be in the morning for the day before, it can be the night before, and maybe that is for you, sitting down and watching your favorite show. One of the moms that I've followed, she always says, drink your water from a wine glass. And I don't know if she came up with that or if that's something, but I heard that recently and I was like, it really does just make those everyday moments seem more special. And we're going to have a talk about that too, about how to eventually find moments of self-care when you really don't have any time. And I really liked that one. Just, making the everyday moment. You have to drink your water, so let's make it a little special. I have, or whatever glass, your grandma's, china, get it out and use it, just some of those little things that make everyday moments feel more special. So that's kind of what we're talking about here. For me, at the end of the day, I turn on my essential oil diffuser in my room about an hour before bed. So it's just kind of cleans out the air and just sort of has an aromatherapy sort of appeal for me. And then right here, again, notice all that you did accomplish. Now, I'm not saying rewrite your checklist here. I'm saying just look back up at the day-to-day checklist and notice what you did get done. You checked 6 of 10 things off your list, or you got, I'm sorry, that's Sorry, that's my Minnie Mouse watch going off. I'm not sure why she's notifying me, but there it is. Notice the things that you have done. And if you get one thing checked off, you know what? If you get no things checked off because you decided to take a mental health day, or were overwhelmed by something and you just got through the day, or everything from your checklist got completely thrown out the window because your child or you had something happen. There was a day a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and I really had a lot on my list and I was ready to go Wednesday morning, which is usually when I get a lot of things done. And Andrew had a seizure. So, if any of you face that, or any of you have, for example, maybe an overstimulating meltdown or something like that happens with your child, an event, let's say, whatever that looks like for your family, that it takes it out of everybody. He was exhausted for the rest of the day. He just wanted to sleep and rest and snack. I had to start calling doctors and making appointments and, reviewing his medical protocols. And so that, I just basically picked up Wednesday and moved it to and like I said, I already had things planned for Thursday. So I just took let's say I had 5 things on my Wednesday list. I added one to Thursday. I added a couple to the following Monday, and I just kind of played it forward. And that's how that works. And so I gave myself permission to just, okay, today's a wash. Obviously if the dogs had to go outside or go on a walk or something like that, so there are things that, you have to do. You have to eat, you have to do certain things, but do those minimal things. Try to give yourself some grace about getting those minimal things done. So important. And if I could just, leave you on that note, just encourage you that you are allowed to take time to process those things. It doesn't mean that we give into it or we necessarily slip into depression or whatever. But if you take the time to process those events and those scary things that happen, or unexpected things, or maybe expectedly unexpected things, if you can give yourself some grace and time to process those things and just take a little rest, take a step back, you're going to be more able mentally, physically, emotionally to pick back up where you left off than if you tried to just push through. Okay, so I think we all probably have had that experience before. I know I have multiple times, and sometimes, you've got toddlers or you've got other kids and you can't just drop the ball, but there are strategies and things you can do to make it simpler. Maybe you don't, maybe that's a pizza night, or for them, or maybe that's a night we all just, cuddle and watch Peppa Pig or something. Yeah, what you watch, but I like Peppa Pig. That's kind of how that works. So again, if you have any questions about that, just shoot me a message or email. Again, if you're already here, you know that we are building our space for And Friends, and I want And Friends to be for you a community. I see so many people out there, parents with special needs kids, moms, dads, siblings who are taking care of their, disabled adult sibling in isolation and disconnect. And I wanted to do something about it. I wanted to help us connect with each other. Facebook's great, and there's a lot of places where Facebook groups are amazing, and I'm not criticizing those at all, but I wanted to take some of my experiences. I want to hear your experiences 100%. I want to hear what's worked for you and what hasn't. And I wanted to take some of my education and training skills that I've been working on for 30 years, starting from corporate training to, educating and being a private tutor, to giving public speaking engagements and motivational speeches here and there. I wanted to take all of that and create a place for us and a place for you where you can chat with other people on here, where we can, do breakouts like that, and where we can do some training and really talk with each other about getting rid of this lack of connection and get out of feeling isolated. So if you have any questions, again, just put them in the chat or send me an email. And here's our information down at the bottom. If you can follow us on Instagram too, if that's not where I already found you. And here's our other details. So anyway, I hope this helps some of you or a lot of you or all of you. Again, it may not be how you do things. You may have a system that works for you. And I'd love for you to share that with us, because maybe your system might help some other people as well. But if you find yourself just a lot in your head and stuck in overwhelm, this is a great way and a place to start. So anyway, thanks so much. And I look forward to seeing you guys soon.